This is Kimberly Page, and the Wrestling Epicenter would like to apologize for the following.
Oddly enough. How you doing today?
Good, and you?
I'm doing good. Our first question is, a couple weeks ago you debuted on NWA TNA. The first question I have for you is, were you a wrestling fan growing up?
Was I a wrestling fan growing up?
Yeah.
Actually, I wrestled in high school, believe it or not.
Amateur wrestling?
So, I wrestled for with the high school team.
Ah, yeah.
So I was definitely into the sport, how it was physical. So that's how it started. And then I watched it a little on and off. I'm not very good at watching things because if I'm watching it, I'm not doing it. And when I'm watching it, I'm getting mad that I'm not doing it. So I watched it on and off, but mostly was doing sports and playing sports and stuff. But on and off I watched it. When I realized it was getting more athletic, I was getting very interested in it. I was a fan, but not a strict watching it and loving all the characters yet.
Okay.
That came more when I grew up.
I was checking out your website, and a link can be found on our site when we put this up. I see that you've done a lot of stunt devil work in movies, like doubles and stuff.
Yes.
How did you get involved in something so dangerous?
Again, all my life I was doing extreme sports, anything, all sports in school, and then after I graduated, it was on to the more extreme sports. I did my skating and half pipe and surfing and snowboarding, and I started racing jet ski professionally, and I did some motocross and stuff. So when I started seeing the jet skiing in movies and TV commercials and stuff, I wanted to get involved in that. So that's what started me out. I headed off to California and got into it. I started doing the live stunt shows at theme parks, like University Studios.
Could you do any collegiate sports?
Yes. I rode crew. That was actually the common sport I ever did.
What was that again? Sorry.
I rode crew, the boat, and I played baseball as well.
Wow. And now what movies might we have seen you in?
Movies, the last one I did was Daredevil, which should be exciting because it's kind of an action comic strip movie. I was in Bad Company, Slim Fans, Anaconda's more popular today than that one. U-Turn, The Doc, that's what the one going around. You were little too, believe it.
Yeah, I saw that last night. What were you in that movie?
We actually did some of the scenes in the park, Central Park. It wasn't really me just stunting it because it's like a happy-go-lucky movie, but when the cab's going through the city, it's kind of going through the creek through Central Park, and we were all like riding bicycles and rollerblading right by it as it really hit us. And then I was a stuntman when the plane came out the nun. See, the stunts go, there's a lot of different things that are stunts, believe it or not.
And how did you end up in the TNA pay-per-view? How did you end up getting on?
I actually went with the team that I managed. We did a dark match at Walsh, which they're affiliated with each other. And then we were invited to do a dark match at TNA. And I just went as a manager for Divine Storm. And when we did our dark match, they, I guess, like, our book or the work or whatever, I actually just walked on and then we were hired, and then our first match, I did a couple of moves and that was it, it's fine, so very fortunate.
What is your relationship with Divine Storm outside the ring? Have you got friends or?
I started training with them, at the school that I went to, Chris Divine is the instructor and Quiet Storm trained there. I train with Amazing Red and SAC, so I know them from the school.
Well, that's
and
certainly... Go ahead.
I started going to the shows, like the indies with them, and I started managing and doing some spots, and I got booked to wrestle. So I just started traveling with them.
Well, that certainly explains your in-ring style.
Which you haven't really seen a lot of it yet, unfortunately, but...
If you ever need a cater, then I take that to show.
I do. I need all of them. I haven't seen one yet. Unfortunately, we don't get TNA where I live, so it's been difficult to get copies.
That definitely segues into my next question. Do you think that in the downturn of wrestling that's been happening in the last couple of years with lower ratings and lower interest, do you think TNA can be something to help draw some interest?
I really hope so. I think that they have a great roster, such talented wrestlers, and they really have really good minds behind the scenes. So I think that if they be able to pull it off on becoming somewhat of really good competition for the WWE and just another venue where some more talent can get on and can bring wrestling back up to. I really think wrestling's still very popular because it's like it's everywhere. It's songs on TV. It's like it's becoming more of a norm.
Yeah, but the thing is, people are comparing it to a couple of years ago where it hit its height.
Right.
I think that's why people are disappointed in the lower ratings now. Even though
what it is? I think that now there's only one company. That's it. The choices are limited. And I think that I would hope and I think TNA will spark interest again because it's something else to watch. So if they're getting bored with WWE, I think the turn to TNA, you get some talent, competition, and just another choice. There should be choices.
there should be choices.
Yes.
That's why I was so upset when WCW wrestled. My next question is, what'd you say?
Me as well.
The next question I have to ask you is, when I first saw you work, I commented on several columns that I wrote that you could easily be TNA's version of Lita. Is that a fair assessment to your in-ring style?
I wouldn't mind that because I definitely think that you agree with all that high flying, and I like that. She was actually somebody like when I was clicking through wrestling again and saw her jumping off the top rope. So I'm like, oh my God, I could do that. I want to do that. So it was something that made me interested again in the sport. That they started getting very athletic, and that the women were getting very athletic. So I would say I probably have some of her style in me. I'm a technical mat wrestler too, and I really like it because I have a stunt work background. I really like the brawling. Like I'm waiting for new tables and chairs and guardrails and for the crowd. I'm really waiting for them to give me those shots and see like a little more of the rough side of me as well.
Now, is the name Trinity what you've had before TNA, and how did it come about?
Actually, I always liked the name, and then the meaning behind it, that the state of being gleeful, and that's kind of what I thought my wrestling style was, that, technical mat, high-flying, luchador style, and the badass brawl, which I call that. So it's like 3 different styles in one person. So the name kind of went with it. But I had it before I got to TNA.
When you said that you want to get more physically involved, do you mean that would you like, if they asked you to work a match full out, would you do it?
Oh, absolutely.
So you do want to be considered a wrestler?
Yes.
In LA?
Yes, very much more. No, definitely a wrestler. I never really wanted to be considered that way, but unfortunately, there's not always a lot of women to wrestle. So anyway, I could get in the ring. But when I manage the team, I always get involved. Like almost 99% of the time in the match.
The next question I have for you is, TNA has been getting a lot of several women involved in business for a long time, but they don't use enough women. Do you see any form of sexism in the company at all?
I don't like to get mad at anyone. They're giving me a shot, and I think it's a great opportunity. And unfortunately, I guess the women draw a little bit, for looks and this and that, but it isn't something that sticks. So I guess it's hard to really promote women. Unfortunately, guys do. They like the sex, the TNA part of it. But so it's very hard to push them wrestle. When girls come out to wrestle, the guys like it, but I think the attention span on the match is like, okay, we've seen chicks come out. They fought a little, okay, we're done, we want to see the guys. So I think they're giving a lot of women chances in all different ways, so I wouldn't say that they're not.
And my next question is, Hulk Hogan defines a breed of wrestler, and many wrestlers claim that they eat, sleep, and drink the business. And Roddy Piper goes in depth in his book about guys getting too obsessed with the business and sacrificing their lives for it. I really saw that firsthand when you said about Owen Hart. Okay, my question to you is, given how hard this business is to get away from, is this something that you're fully prepared to devote your life to, or devote at least a portion of it to?
Absolutely. I get a lot of flack in the business because I am new and, I just got into it. I get a lot of flack that I didn't put my years in. Unfortunately, I'm older, so I didn't get into it when young, so I don't have, years behind me to say I've been in it so long, but I definitely already am devoting my life. I gave up a business that pays so well, that is, such a great business to start with. I mean, I still do it, but wrestling comes first, so I made a lot of sacrifice already for it. In the indies right now, it's not good pay, it's so much traveling. Women don't get respected that much in the business, and it's very tough on us. We have to be better than the guys, and we have to look good, and, we're not really welcome. So it's a tough business. So the fact that at my age, I'm getting into a business that, doesn't really want me there, doesn't respect me, and, sometimes makes it difficult. I'm overlooking all that, and I am. I'm devoting my whole self to it, and I'm always working on it, whether it's marketing myself or working or whatever I have to do, and I enjoy it, as long as I don't let people bring me down in the business. But I love it, and it does consume your life, but anytime I do get interested in something, I do it all the way. It's the only way I know how.
That's great to hear. Before I let you go, I just have a question that's more for me than anybody else. I was reading some contract information about TNA, and last night when you emailed me, because we had trouble touching base the last couple of days, you mentioned that you were working for an indie set in Boston.
Yeah.
I know the WWE is strongly against their guys working, other promotions except for them. How is TNA about you guys working the indie set?
They're actually, I guess, a little more lenient because they know the way they present it to me. They know they're new and they're trying to make a company, so, they don't tell us that we can't work anywhere. They ask us for, if we ever had to take off with them, to give us 30 days notice. And, we're still not making big bank yet, so I don't think that they would try to take our other jobs away from us, too. So they're really good about it. But TNA is great, and I would never, put myself in real harm or get hurt or, do anything wrong because TNA is like the best thing around right now. So as far as sacrificing anything or messing with TNA, they're good about it, and I'm smart about it. I think most of the wrestlers would be, TNA comes first.
All right, we'd like to thank you very much for this interview. It took a long time to put together, but now we got it, and
yes.
I just stopped blowing you and bothering you.
You never bother me. I appreciate it. It's great to, for fans to want to interview you and be interested in you. Without you guys, we would be nothing. So I love it. And no matter where I go and how big I make it, I will never turn down fans or anything. I love it. I appreciate it. It's an honor to be asked to get interviewed. So it was fun for me, and no hassle, and we did it, and it was great. So thank you.